Tim Draper, like when he talks to the students, he says, and I think this is true of Evernote now and back then, delighting users with the actual product, that should be the ultimate goal. Let's talk a little bit about one night where Evernote was out of money.
Yeah.
And one of these investors that you probably just mentioned, something happened. If the crowd can know a little bit about that story.
Yeah, so we one of the biggest early mistakes that I made at Evernote was the start was too complicated, like I said, because it was two teams that joined together, and it was not a textbook start. We had more structure. Our cap table was complicated. We had all these contracts going back and forth, and that was one of the things that made us unfundable, because at an early stage, if you're doing anything like not standard in your structure or your documents, like investors aren't even going to pay attention, because you have to prove that you're even worth it for them to understand some new structure. So I would never do that again. I would right now I advise everyone to just be as clean and textbook as possible. Just start clean, and just make it as straightforward as you can in terms of the structure. Don't try to innovate in the structure. So it took us. We spent over a year cleaning up all of our structure so that we could be a normal, clean startup that was more investable. And we finally got a term sheet from a European investor for $10 million. It was going to be our first big A round. We were already pretty big. I think we already had 30 people. But we spent about 6 months in due diligence with them because of the complicated structure. So it was about 6 months to clean everything up, to redo all the contracts. It was torturous. A, because it was actually messy on our part, and B, these European investors are just more sticklers for all sorts of random stuff. So we spent 6 months with them, and it was supposed to close in October of 2008, October of 2008. And on the day that it was supposed to close was the day that Lehman Brothers went out of business, the market crashed. It was the height of the bloodbath in 2008, of the biggest financial crisis ever. And on the closing day, they called me and said, we just lost 60% of our fund value in one day, so we're not going to make this investment. And we were totally screwed, because at this point we had only 3 weeks of cash left in the bank. And it was Sequoia had just sent around the memo, the RIP Good Times memo to all their companies, saying you'll never be able to raise money again. You have to everyone has to go heads down.
How big was the team at that moment, by the way?
30-ish. So I spent a week frantically calling everyone I know, because we hadn't been talking to other investors in 6 months, because we were in due diligence with this other guys who just backed out. So I spent a week just scrambling, trying to find anyone that would give us money, but it was impossible. Daily, everything was plummeting all around us. And about a week later, we had 2 weeks of cash in the bank, and I was sitting at home at 3 a.m. and I decided, okay, we're done. We have to close down the company the next day. So I'm going to go to bed, wake up the next morning, go to the office, and just shut down the company, because we only had 2 weeks of cash left, and you can't just go to zero. You have to pay some final bills and stuff just to stay out of jail at the end. So I just decided I was going to go to work in a few hours and shut everything down and tell everyone that we didn't make it. Sorry. Right before going to bed, I got this email from some random guy from Sweden at 3 a.m. And the email said "Hi, I'm a random guy from Sweden, and I just wanted you to know that I started using Evernote a couple of months ago, and I love it. It's changed my life. It's made me totally better organized. I just feel really good. I'm really happy that I started using Evernote a few months ago, and I felt a little bit better because I was thinking, if you at least I improved the life of one random guy in Sweden. That's something. And then he went on in the email to say, so I'm just writing to see if you're looking for any investment. I was like, why, yes, we are looking for an investment. And then I didn't go to bed. I stayed up. And 40 minutes later, I was on a Skype call with him. And I told him what was going on. And 2 weeks after that, he wired us $500,000. And it was that $500,000 which let us. I had stopped paying myself and the executive team, and we paid everything back, but that $500,000 let us survive for probably another 6 months. And that was enough to actually get enough traction where now we had real stats about what was happening with the product, and then we were able to raise all sorts of other money. So it definitely, the company was definitely saved by this guy who still wants to be anonymous in Sweden. It was just you know, he was a user, he was a fan, and he just kept the company alive.